I didn't see him. Maybe, well, if he comes in time. Maybe not.
Thank you and good afternoon, gentlemen of the press. The Honorable Minister for Budget and Economic Planning, Senator Abubakar Bagudu, the founder, Tony Elumelu Foundation, Chairman UBA, Chairman Heirs Holdings, Mr. Tony Elumelu. The President has just inaugurated the Presidential Economic Coordination Council, and that is a body that is made up of the President's Economic Management Team, the legislature represented by the leaders of the National Assembly, the Senate President, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, as well as, very importantly, the subnationals represented by the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, and of course, the elite of the private sector, both the likes of Alhaji Aliko Dangote, President Dangote Industries, and as we have here, Mr. Tony Elumelu, but also top economists, Dr. Doyin Salami, Mr. Bismarck Rewane, as well as some of the younger businessmen playing in the major league of the stock exchange quoted businesses and financial organizations. We have Mr. Jimovia there, we have Mr. Shegun Agbaje. So it is a mix of the top talent and the top stakeholders available within the Nigerian business sector. That council will meet and report to Mr. President monthly, and today they were presented with the outcomes of Mr. President's review of the accelerated stabilization and advancement plan. And that was in an emergency plan to cover the next 6 months, which Mr. President had directed that a combination of his own economic management team and the subnationals, the governorship, the governor's level, and the private sector put together for his consideration. And the sum of that very important exercise is that a 2 trillion naira package involving 350 billion naira funding for health and social welfare, 500 billion naira funding for agriculture and food security, 500 billion for the energy and power sector, and general business support of about 650 billion. In addition to a range of policy measures and tax measures, there is a range of executive orders which Mr. President has signed and which are being gazetted to ease the cost of doing business at this particular time. There are a number of funding which will reduce the cost of interest, reduce the interest rate for certain sectors in the economy, the small and medium scale in particular, but also some larger companies. There's a line of credit that will allow them to fund cheaper than the elevated rates. This plan is a means of trying to stabilize the economy and get business growing again. We know what has happened since the macroeconomic measures which were necessary and which have been implemented in a determined and consistent manner. They led to elevated costs, both for industry and for individuals. And before turning over to my colleagues at this event, I will say that the number one priority that Mr. President focused on was food production, food security, nutrition security. He has ordered the Food Nutrition Council, Food Security and Nutrition Council, to immediately go to work, and the Vice President said they had a meeting on the food system just yesterday. So the commitment to providing food at an affordable price and in available quantities is uppermost in Mr. President's mind at this particular time. In addition, the commitment to reducing the losses in the oil sector, in the crude oil sector, and in fact, getting crude oil production and sales up to 2 million barrels a day was another target, another commitment that was made today as one of the measures that can assist the whole society by providing not just additional revenue, but additional foreign exchange liquidity to the economy. On that note, I will just re-emphasize that as the economy has been stabilized, it is now turning to looking at what areas need to emphasize to grow the economy as well as to provide social protection. So agriculture and food is uppermost, but infrastructure is also key. And I'll just give you two examples of that. But in the oil and gas sector, there have been improved incentives and ease of doing business and international competitiveness brought to the oil and gas sector through a range of fiscal measures that have made it more competitive. As a result of that, we've seen transactions completed, Total Energies in the gas sector, and I think Ajib today in the crude oil sector. But in addition, there are two major projects that have been long in the making that this government has had the commitment to complete. The Ajaokuta Kaduna Kano gas pipeline is expected to be completed by the end of this year and latest first quarter next year. That will provide a surfeit and surplus gas supply for power, for industry, for residential use, for fertilizer along that corridor, and give the opportunity for private business to come in and revive industries, revive jobs and economic activity along that corridor. Secondly, the OB3 pipeline that carries gas from the east of the Niger Delta to the west has been in the making. That project has been on for 17 years. And it is now, under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that we are looking at a completion date of next month. And the difference that that will make is that it will allow the major fertilizer producers. We have here joining us Alhaji Aliko Dangote, President Dangote Industries, who I mentioned earlier was a member of the Presidential Economic Coordination Council. He and other major producers will now become net exporters of fertilizer, and they will become net earners of foreign exchange. That transaction, that project is around the corner. So those are that's the optimism that we can look forward to in terms of what is imminent in terms of job creation and improved economic output. I will stop there because I do have others on this podium with me, and it's important to hear their contributions. But I hope that I've given you a sense of the planning and the coherence of the financial and economic plan of the government alongside its total commitment to social protection, to providing food, to providing nutrition, and making it available and making it affordable. Thank you.
I think I am honored to be part of President Bola Tinubu's Presidential Economic Coordination Council. We met today. The coordinating minister of the economy presented a lot of packages we discussed and the president approved. For me, as the president said, it's good for Nigeria to be talking about food security because it is time we put more food on the table and also at affordable prices. The president spoke about energy crisis, energy security. We need to improve power generation in Nigeria so that we can power our businesses and power our people to prosperity. And we need to increase our oil production. As the coordinating minister said, the president's target is 2 million barrels per day. Is it achievable? Yes, but we just need to do what we need to do to get to that level. And also, all of this is all about creating prosperity for our people. The senior people, the old people, the junior people, the struggling people, small, medium-scale enterprises. It's all about giving economic hope to our people. It's all about creating jobs, for our young ones. So we hope that with the private sector working with the federal government under President Tinubu, that things will begin to improve. That is the aspiration. That's why what the coordinating minister said about the amount of money that have been approved now for disbursement are all targeted to achieving better life for everyone. So I look forward to more prosperous and better country, and I look forward to us creating more jobs for our people and to us also supporting the small and medium-scale enterprises. The president is very, 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 very committed to this. He said today, 4th of July, America is celebrating their independence. We're here strategizing about how to create more prosperity for our people. So, Honorable Minister, thank you for the opportunity.
President Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's dream, where the economy, the pride of place given to the private sector. So the coordinating minister and I are properly situated between two titans. That's the Nigeria. Our renewed hope agenda, our economic planning model have recognized that we must give pride of place to our private sector. And today what Mr. President inaugurated reflects his conviction that we must give that pride of place, and recognizing that we are a federal setting and the subnationals are important. Just last week, Mr. President met with the subnationals, the state governors in particular, at the National Economic Council meeting. And in that, he challenged them, among others, to give him a plan about accelerated food production and social protection on a word-by-word basis. This is similar to what many countries have done, federal countries, so that he can respond by supporting specific needs. And equally before them, Mr. President had met with the private sector leaders, including those that are seated here, Mr. Tony Elumelu and Dangote, and assured them that this is a government of dialogue with the private sector. Their input matters, their support matters, and we are encouraged that they support the macroeconomic reforms that are being undertaken, even while cautioning that we need to do more to ensure that the social inclusion and protection is provided to those who are otherwise affected more negatively by the reforms. And the coordinating minister of the economy is very clear in his mandate that he is to mobilize both the subnationals and the private sector, consistent with the mandate given to him by Mr. President, and all of us in the cabinet are to support him. And we are glad that today, yet again, a council has been inaugurated, and we believe that more positive outcomes will be recorded. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Honorable Minister of National Planning, Tony Elumelu, distinguished members of the press. I think really today, to me personally, it's a great day that the President has launched this, Presidential Economic Coordinating Council, where the private sector and the public sector will actually work together to make sure that we better the lives of our people. You must have heard, even though I'm sorry I came in a bit late, I was addressing the press again outside. The Honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy explained to you the kind of interventions that the government is going to make, I think almost 2 trillion. Apart from that, we are going to sit down and advise government the kind of policies that government will roll out. Most of these things, we have them. They've already been discussed over and over. It's just a matter of implementation. And I think the choice of people that we have at this, Presidential Economic Coordinating Committee, they are good enough to be able to advise government how to implement. Our own from the private sector is now, to actually do our own bit, which is to invest heavily and create jobs. Government, they don't really create jobs, but what they do is to give us the right policies, which I think we have all these policies. You can see intervention in gas. What the Honorable Minister said earlier on, getting OB3 alone to work will have additional $2 billion incoming, inwards into the economy. It will help. There are other also industries that will also bring in a lot of money into the country. Like what I keep saying, our own issues are not that bad. This economy can be turned around within few months, and I think we're on that way. I must really thank His Excellency, Mr. President, for inaugurating this council, and we'll start meeting immediately, and I can assure you, you'll see a lot of changes coming. I know that everybody is in a hurry, but we have what it takes to turn around this economy. Things are not going to be bad. We are now just we've gone to the bottom, but we're going to rise up and make sure that we make every single Nigerian proud to be a Nigerian. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.